I know what you're thinking. Is this the booth, drafting the circuits, three-way theater, or the Kevin Jackson show? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kinda lost track myself here on whobazoo.com. So, do you feel lucky, punk?
Oscar Mike Radio. Come in, Oscar Mike Radio.
Sinister One, this is Oscar Mike. I have you, Lima Charlie, over.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land or sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines.
All right, folks, good evening. It's March 1st, but it's not. I'm down here again at Red Seal Martial Arts Company in Lakeville, Mass. That punching you hear in the background is Shaun Schubert doing his thing in the ring with one of his students. But the main event, the main guy I'm talking to tonight is Michael Darrah from Team Darrah. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, Travis, how are you tonight, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. It's good to see you, brother. Long story short, man, I got to watch you fight in Warwick, Rhode Island last weekend, and I was really taken aback, impressed, surprised all at the same time. So I just want to talk to you about that.
Yeah, man, had a good time, good fight. Got my feet wet for the first time. It was a crappy night with the snow and stuff like that. Had a good turnout, man. They said there was like 1,400 people, but
that was the first thing I wanted to ask you. I didn't think that many people would show up, honestly, because it was a really crappy night. But the whole place was damn near packed. There's something else. And then I'll tell you, the second thing I want to ask you about is, all I saw down there were Team Darrah shirts. I mean, how did that make you feel to see all these people driving an hour and a half away to come see you fight?
oh man, the love was amazing, man. It was like the first couple hours. It's, you know, I couldn't even get back in the corner because every time I'd walk past one person, they'd talk to me for a little while. Then I'd get grabbed by another person. And, you know, then I had a couple family members up top, and with the love, man, like when I came out, my entrance song, you heard the beginning of it, the rest of you couldn't even hear it. It was all black and yellow.
Now, for those of you who weren't there, he had in the jungle, the quiet jungle going, and he has his Irish flag, the Army flag, the American flag, and his whole crew out there.
Ranger flag, Red Seal flag, had them all, man.
You had it all going. That was the best interest of the night, man, and that was just electric.
I had my son, my 11-year-old, had a pole with a lion head on it. He came out all excited to bring that lion head out, which actually made it in the ring at one point.
Well, it was great. It was great. And what was great before, man, was just all the pre-fight action and people getting excited about seeing you. We were talking about Matt Daniels, who, you kind of taking underneath your wing and what he wanted to do. And it was a really big thing for him to come down there and watch you fight. It was really something else to see how excited he was. I mean, he doesn't really emote that much, but he was pretty pumped that he was getting to see this, man. And that had to make you feel good before you even stepped in the ring.
Yeah, man, Matt's a good kid. Myself and Gerald kind of took him under our wing, and kid's got hands on him, man. He's definitely got some hands, and I think we're gonna have him in one of the next couple matches. He really likes to box. He loves when I bring him around people. I'm sorry he's not here tonight. It's just because I had a different interview that, or would have had him with me. He just sits in the back and absorbs and watches, and he's just a good kid, man.
Well, he told me one of the things he was looking forward to doing was actually maybe even thinking about joining the Army. And I thought it'd be pretty cool that if you saw that kid, mature and go in the Army, it'd be a pretty cool thing for you.
Yeah, so I'm trying to help him do now. We've been talking about it. Kids just like I was, doesn't have much direction in life as a teenage boy, which a lot of teenage boys, young men don't.
Right.
Don't know what they want to do like I didn't. And he wants that yearning, that wanting to be a part of something, but yet being an individual. Like not like everybody around here. So that's what we're striving for now. His 18th birthday is coming up. I believe he'll be 18 in May or June, and soon as he turns 18, I said, as long as we go get him his scores, get him in there, and get him going, man. I'll be proud of the kid.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I get to meet your wife for the first time, and she, like you said, is always mad about you for something. I mean, but it was, you know, some wives see their husbands at this age do their thing, like, yeah, he's doing this thing, whatever. But man, she was really into this for you. I mean, it might as well have been her up there fighting with you. What was that like, man?
Yeah, man, she's been real supportive, but pissed off at the same time. Like I said,
I'm telling you.
She was a nervous wreck. She was probably more nervous than I was. But she stood by there, and she's put up a lot of crap, and now she's taking over, taking the reins. At first she was upset by it, but by, as soon as we got there, everything was real, and she was real excited about it. She was nervous, but I had so many people there to just make sure everything was good for her, and she was just pumped. Like, now she's like, I'm telling her about the next fight, and she's okay. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do, and she likes it. You know what I mean? She's taking over the Darrah. We started a Team Darrah fan page because of supporters and sponsors. Man, the day after the fight, I've gotten so much love and support from people in high rank, other places, from guys trying to support me. I have actually, can I throw the plugs out real quick?
Absolutely, man. Go right ahead.
I have 3 new sponsors. One is Iverson Masonry and Plowing out of Brockton. A good friend of mine, Ryan Iverson, owns that company. I also have Wind Up. It's a wine and restaurant lounge in actually Warwick, Rhode Island.
No kidding.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Rob Gilman, owns that, and his partner. He's big on support and loves it. They were both at the fight. Rob's all about the fight, so is Ryan. And actually, a funny story is another kid supported me. A kid named Chris. He, I'm the homeless veterans coordinator, and about April, the kid was down on his luck, veteran, couldn't get his stuff together, couldn't get his benefits in. Though, I read his story, and I took him under my wing, and I just, like, he lives out in Worcester area, couldn't get to Boston for his exams, so I got him to his exams, I got him rides home, I got him his exams done, got everything done, pushed forward through, and I said, listen, you got to do something good with this money, like, because a lot of veterans get their back pay and just blow it, get hooked on drugs, and he swore to God to me that he would, and told me he was going to do the right thing with it, and turned around, the kid battle raps, and, does videos and stuff, but he took that money and built a clothing line. Yeah, man, 363 clothing line, and he's supporting me. He's gonna hook me up with all types of different dope gear, from shirts to tracksuits and stuff, and he's all excited, man. More to come on that. I'll stop posting pictures of me and his stuff, and like I said, I helped the kid. Now he's helping me, supporting me, and giving me clothes for fight. When I helped him.
So you have the Team Darrah Facebook page, right?
Yes. Yep.
So it's Team Darrah on Facebook. You can check all this stuff out. And then I'll tell you right now, Mike, I'll have all these guys in the blog post so people can check it out and click on it. This episode will be on YouTube, Facebook Live, SoundCloud, the whole 9 yards. So there's no excuse. I'm supporting these people. We're supporting Mike. And you're supporting people who support veterans. They're putting their money where their mouth is. So this is a very good thing. So
one more thing, Rob Gilman's a Marine too. So he was all excited about it, Marine, so he was all excited about, Marine doing this. I told him all about it, and like I said, Chris is an Army vet. Ryan wasn't a vet, but Ryan's a veteran of Brockton, put it that way.
There you go. That's a battlefield in itself. So you get up there, man. I'm watching this because, I'm watching the fights, and there's some guys getting absolutely clocked in the first round, which I'm like, man, that's pretty brutal. Train as hard as you train to get knocked out in the first round. There's some guys who get knocked down. They were fight stopped. So I'm wondering how this is going to be. But you get out there and you look like you're ready to go. So I guess my next question is, what did Shaun do to get you battle ready, get you focused to do this thing with all this hoopla and stuff going around? How did he get you prepared?
Well, first it started off with me just getting a hold of Gerald and just starting my meal plan and losing the weight. From December 7th until January 9th, I want to say, I did nothing but cardio and lose weight because of Christmas. Didn't really have time. No one was really around to train me, so I got down about 40 pounds then. And January 9th, I started off with Gerald as far as working out. And Gerald and I worked with Joe Ennis out of Stoughton for a little bit. And Shaun got a hold of me, and Shaun put a better plan in my head. So with me and Gerald, and basically Shaun just said, be here and do what I say, and I did, man. And it wasn't a whole lot we could do in the 6 weeks to become a boxer, but it was more like just making me battle ready, like you said.
So fight night, what does he do? I mean, because you got the butterflies going, the heart rate's up. How did he get you focused to do this?
Basically, he just said, shut my mouth and hang on. And very warmed up with pads, you know, got my head away from all the other crap that was going on, and just told me to sit down and relax and get up, do a little bit more pad work, you know, and just hang out and have them tape up my hands.
Awesome. So I watched the first round, and you're out there, and you could tell that you were jacked and ready to go. You didn't hold anything back, and a lot of people are like, well, who's this guy fighting? What's the big deal? Because I'm not a boxer. I don't know what I'm looking at here, but the other guy looked like he was trying to land more blows. And the one thing I was going to ask you about is every time you get going, it seemed like the ref stepped in and held you back. I was getting upset.
Yeah, not knowing all the rules of boxing, I was rushing him too much. I was inside too much, and he'd wrap up with me in the corner. And finally, when I'd pull out from his wrap up, and I'd go to hit him, and the ref would stop it because we were over the corner. You know, we were over the ropes, or I was pushing him over the ropes by his head. Excuse me.
So join us now. We got Shaun Schubert, owner and founder of Red Seal Martial Arts here in Lakeville, Massachusetts. Great place. As I said in my blog post, man, this place is spotless. I mean, I really like that. I really do. I can't talk about that enough. But you're watching your guy who is not a boxer by trade, just started this. He's out there fighting. What was going through your mind as you're watching him do this?
Just knowing that he's in his first fight, he already had obstacles to overcome, and we had talked about this the last time we were on with you, Travis, and the biggest thing that we had against Mike was the time restraint. We didn't have a lot of time to make him a technical boxer, and sitting back as it was happening, unfolding live in front of me, there's only so much you can do. You know, you can only coach so much at that point, and there's nothing that's going to change in 2 minutes or in 6 minutes after the, you know, throughout the whole fight. You're not going to be able to change. So you're trying to make those adjustments on the fly, and you're trying to tap into that training regimen that we worked on for those 6 weeks that he was getting ready. But again, there's only so much that you can call on at that point where there's a lot of chaos happening. There's a lot of unpredictable things between the referee, like you're saying. We don't know if the referee wants to break it up, if there's stoppages, if the other guy, you know, is getting tired, if he's going to outwork you, so on and so forth. So just sitting back and watching this unfold there's only so much you can do, you know? So I'm watching it and thinking that he's doing well and he's doing what we asked him to do, but at the same time, you know that the experience is lacking and he's not making enough to win the rounds. So every round I'm getting in there in talking to him, and I'm trying to make him understand you just have to win the round. You just have to work for 2 minutes. You don't have to go out there and knock anybody out in the first 30 seconds, or it's, you know, you don't have to go looking for these big shots. You just have to work from one bell to the next bell. Just go out there and keep working, and that's the most important thing anyways, is that you don't quit on yourself.
So I didn't see any quit, and when I told people in the audience, like, this is this guy's first fight, they were like, wow, you know. And I said he started in December training for this thing, and they were very impressed. But you know, the only thing I can compare it to, Shaun, is weightlifting. You have the guy who's been doing this kind of competition all his life. He's more comfortable. You have a guy who just started, you know, maybe not as comfortable. But the one thing that I can say is I didn't see Mike quit or, you know, throw in the towel any time during the fight. And I'll go so far as to say, Mike, you know, if this had been a street fight, you know, if he was going full army on this thing, Mike, this would have been a very different story in my view. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it would have went definitely my way. He definitely won by points and technical. But as far as bully, I bullied him probably mostly around the ring. You know, I kept getting him in the corner. I get him in the middle. He'd wrap up with me. You know, reps hands around my waist in the middle of the fight. You know, and at that point, it becomes just fight or flight, and you're hitting him anyhow. You know, not knowing the rules. I am looking forward to become more of a boxer, but I was still kind of a brawler at that time. You know, I still am, and didn't really have the time to become that boxer. Just basically, it was Shaun's idea was to just get me in there and fight Chad.
So the fight ends, and they're there, and they announce Chad the winner. And you know, I come over to see you coming down from the ring, Mike, and your shirt is covered in blood. And I'm like, okay, he got popped above the eye or in the nose really good, but if that hurt you at the time, you didn't know it. And so I want to know how that felt when you look down at your shirt when the adrenaline kicked off. You're like, holy crap, you're covered in blood.
Man, I didn't even know he popped my nose until the end of the second round. Pretty sure it happened when both of us hit each other with a jab, left each other wide open. He tagged me, I tagged him, and I didn't realize. I felt like I was just kind of like choking back sweat from breathing heavy. And Gerald came over. I think it was Gerald. It was either Gerald or Shaun, and just had a towel for my face. And I realized I was bleeding at the time. I mean, at that point, it's adrenaline. You don't even feel like it's going on. You know, I think it's pretty funny. I think the shirt looks pretty cool.
Sure looks badass.
Yeah, man. Steve Domenico wants me to sign it, and he wants to hang it the room. That's cool with me. I like it. I like the idea of it. You know, they got a cool picture of me and Chad and a couple people in the middle. It looks more like a warrior, you know. That's my main thing. You know, I went in there and I didn't quit. Could I have done better? 100% I could have done better. Have I sparred better than Chad? I fought 100% I sparred people better than that. But, you know, the better things to come at this point, you know. Like I said in the other interviews, he's unsure, I guess, if he's going to fight me. But I gave him his shot. You know, after 6 weeks, did what he wanted to do. He told me to come down to 220 for this next fight or come down to his weight. I'll come down. But, you know, give me my shot. Let me become a boxer now.
Yeah. Shaun, how did you feel about, yeah, he didn't win, but how did you feel about how Mike did and how Mike carried himself that night?
It's a very emotional type of event anyways, because it gets so boiled up with all the smack talking and, you know, the calling out at the very beginning, and then all the ramping up and all the interviews and Facebook posting and the live feeds, and, you know, he said this and I did that, and then I said this and he did that, and back and forth and back and forth. So the whole thing's very emotional as far as a fight goes. On a regular level, you don't usually get that type of atmosphere from the regular kickboxing or the boxing leagues, but this Brawl for It All has that special energy where the smack talking is almost encouraged, you know, where that's part of the entertainment, it's part of the value. So being so invested in that part of it, it was hard to take that loss and get that decision. On the other end of the spectrum, for somebody that had never been in a boxing ring until December, had boxed for approximately 6 to 8 weeks, and then took his first fight against somebody that had 3 fights already, that's something to be said. That goes a long way in my book. For you to step up and knowing that this guy has experience, you're still getting in there anyways, that speaks a lot about your character. So already you're proud as a coach to know that this guy is going to fight through whatever you put in front of him, regardless of what it is. He's going to get the job done. He's going to go out and keep working until somebody pulls him off and says, hey, listen, you can't do this anymore. Okay, so in that respect, it's just nothing but pride. And of course, you know, everybody takes a loss and it's hurt feelings or whatever at first, but his willingness to get back in, and we're not even out of the ring yet, and he's telling me, I want to get back in the gym and do some more training, and I'm going to get back in for this Brawl for It All 6, and the next one's only in 5 months, and I got all this time to train now, and we're not even back in the locker room yet, and he's talking about the next one, you know, and you just finished a fight, man, you know, have some time, relax, and have a water, you know, wipe the blood up. He's not about that. He's, you know, he wants to better himself, and he knows, and you can only gain that experience by having that experience. You can't get it from anything else. You can talk about it till you're blue in the face, but until you cross the threshold and do that first fight, you can even train all the way up to that first fight, but just having that first real fight is an experience all of its own. And Mike had that, and he got bit by the boxing bug, as we say, you know, and now he wants more. So
nice.
So that's you know, it's pride, man. It's nothing but pride.
So Mike, what is next? I mean, are you still training as hard? Are you taking some time off? What's going on with you know, getting ready for this number 6?
I took a couple days off. I'm going back starting on Monday. Took a day off from my diet. One day I had 1 pizza and 1 baked hamburger, and now I'm back on my diet right away. I did a cleanse.
No, wait, hold on. Where did the pizza come from?
Home cafe, man.
Home Cafe.
Greek pizza from Home Cafe. Unbelievable.
What kind of pizza was it?
The Greek pizza with just tomatoes and feta cheese. Well done. My
Okay.
favorite pizza there is, man. I love them, and they're delicious at that place.
I liked you first.
Oh, I love them pizzas, man. The good thing about it is my brother-in-law Jay had actually, I was doing stuff that day, and he came over and gave it to me because he knew that's what I wanted. So shout out to my brother-in-law Jason. He went and grabbed that pizza for Fat Boy, and I got that in that day, boy. But and the next day, my wife and I started a cleanse. I did a three-day nothing but water cleanse.
Oh my God.
Now I'm eating. Yeah, man, it was rough in the house. It was like my wife had her first 7-day friend for those 3 days, and it was times 4. But now I'm eating rice and beans and
loves you, he
vegetables.
really does.
I do, man. But rice and beans and vegetables, and kind of back where I was, and
So that's cool. Now, Shaun, you have more time to work with Mike now and set him up. So, is it just doing the same thing, but taking more time to work on fundamentals and strength conditioning and the rules, and you don't have to, mash the throttle that much, or is it the same approach, or do you take a different approach now?
So we use what we like to call the rule of one, and the rule of one, like I talked to you about the efficiency of the program that we run, our whole method is based on functionality. So we understand that there could be a guy that comes to me with no experience, and he's real nervous, and he's, oh man, I got this guy, he wants to beat me up real bad, he said meet him in an hour. Well, I got 1 hour to show you one thing. What can I show you?
Right.
What's the best advice that I can give you that's going to be able to functionalize something for you that could possibly save you? You might come to me and say, hey man, I got 1 week to get ready for this fight, and now that 1 hour gets to be something a little bit more in depth, but still I have to kind of play out, okay, what is the most important thing that I can give this guy so that in 1 week he can survive this fight. So that rule of one applies to an hour, a week, a month, a year, and you use that type of mentality saying, okay, now I've got 5 months to get him ready instead of 5 weeks to get him ready. What does he already have? What are the most important points to get him? Because it's not just getting him to memorize a combination or getting him to memorize a drill or get good at one activity or another. It's to be able to freely think on your toes and fight that boxing match. So it's integration of skill that's really the important part. It's not memorization of this drill or that activity, this punch combo or this move goes with that punch. It's more of him having the ability to see what's coming at him and know, where do I have to be, where should I be going to this, thinking 3 moves ahead, so on and so forth. So
since the time has expanded, you've got more time to give him more tools that fit his strengths and work on his weaknesses.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%. And having seen him fight this last fight, well, now we know, what did he do well? We worked on cutting the angles, we worked on working the body, we worked on staying safe and keeping your hands up. That's it. We only had 5 weeks, but you watch that whole fight, didn't put his hands down. He cut the angles on the ring perfectly, he never stopped fighting, and he kept himself safe. That's it. The scorecard didn't go in our direction, but as a coach, you can't ask for anything more than somebody doing exactly what you trained them to do. And going back and watching the film, that's all I saw was exactly what we worked on. He looked the exact same in that fight as he did in training, and that's all you can ask for.
The thing that amazed me was, and that I was impressed by, is he didn't get knocked down one time. He didn't get knocked down one time. To me, that was impressive, because I don't know if I could have done that, or anybody who had the amount of experience that he had. And there wasn't any quit, Shaun. I mean, Mike, you didn't stop the entire time. It wasn't like you went into the corner and said, I'm going to take it easy, or I'm going to wait for him to come to me. You aggressed the entire time. And I felt that was something that I wanted to. That's why I said in my follow-up, you may have lost a fight, Mike, but you weren't beaten. No one will ever convince me, Shaun, that your guy got beat. Yes, he lost, but did he get beaten? No. And when you can build on that, I think that's just a credit to not only the boxer but also the coach and how you guys did this for him.
Yeah, a lot of thing that people miss is that it's interpretive. So on one side of the fence, you got Team Darrah that's seeing everything Mike does as a positive. Even when he's getting hit, they see all the blocking that he's doing, not all the times he's getting hit. And the same thing on the other side of the team. The other guy, his team sees him as unloading punches, not as Mike blocking punches. So there's all the crowd influence that you have. And then the judges, there's only 3 judges and they're sitting at different spots. So there's no way that they're catching everything either. So it's all interpretive in that respect, meaning if he looked more like a boxer as he was doing the things he was doing, if he was punching on his way in while he was cutting those angles down and while he was pressuring, he would have looked more like a boxer instead of a guy that's just willing to grind out and walk through fire to get his hands on you. That's what the judges are looking for. That doesn't mean that on the outside perspective as a fight, he didn't lose many battles. He didn't get pushed around. He didn't get knocked down. He didn't get overwhelmed to a point where he felt like he couldn't do it anymore, he needed to quit, or that guy was just too big, too strong, or too much better than him. And that's all perspective, meaning the judges saw what they saw, we saw what we saw, his team saw what he saw. Going back on the film, you can see the proofs in the pudding a little bit. And did he do enough to get the win? No. But did he do better than he looked from my perspective in that corner? Yeah, absolutely. And did he do all the things that we did in training? Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's all you can ask for as a coach, especially getting a guy ready in 5 weeks for his first fight.
So, Mike, you're through your cleanse now. Your wife's getting back to normal, but she's just mad at you now. Mike, what's it going to be like for you getting ready for Brawl for it all 6?
Pre-camp starting Monday. I told Shaun I'm dedicated. Camp starts a little bit sooner, but I'm hoping pre-camp's going to be just like camp. Just got to grind for the next 3-4 months, work on my distance and a couple other things that we've talked about, and just become a better boxer, man. Be better, period. Instead of just being kind of a brawler and like bullying him. I mean, like I said before, I definitely bullied him around the ring, got in too close with him, and this time work on boxing, not just trying to smash him or trying to put his head over the ring and stuff. Basically just become better.
So look, everybody, I'm going to have links to the Team Darrah Facebook page. Check that out, most deaf. There's a link to Red Seal Martial Arts in Lakeville, Massachusetts. I'm checking it out. I'm loving it. And then Mike has a lot of sponsors who are local guys who are veterans, non-veterans, but who support him, and we need to support them. So they'll be in the blog post as well. And I will definitely be checking in and making sure that when number 6 hits, we all know about it. So I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank Mike and Shaun for your time. Did I miss anything, guys? Anything I want to add? No?
No, I just want to say thank you for the articles, Travis. It really meant a lot. From someone outside seeing in, that we put a lot into it, that Shaun put a lot into me, and we put a lot into that fight. Like I said, I didn't go home with a W, but I still got to go home to my family and my kids, and got home once I saw the tapes, thinking, like I said, 6 weeks, I did what I did, but come June, you'll see a different fighter.
All right, looking forward to it. Well, folks, that's it. Thank you very much, and Omar is out.